Okay, so these are some lab equipment pieces, and hopefully you've got a good idea of what these look like. So we're going to start here. These are tongs, but these are Crucible tongs. And the way you can tell they are Crucible tongs is because they have this kind of rounded opening for the crucible. This is an evaporating dish. An evaporating dish allows for some kind of a solution to leave a solid behind. This is a burner. This is a Bunsen burner, capital B, Bunsen. This is kind of hard to tell, but this is wire gauze. So if you are going to heat a beaker over a flame and you want to kind of distribute that flame so it's more evenly distributed throughout, even heat, you'd put the beaker on top of the wire gauze. This is called a burette. So this is kind of like a grad cylinder, which, by the way, this is here, graduated cylinder. So both of these items allow for accurate measurement of liquid volumes, but the burette is even more accurate because right here we have this valve, and you can just allow it to come out in a steady stream, and you can measure it, or you can have it come out in drop-wise, so drop by drop. So you can get really accurate with the volume in a burette. Grad cylinder, again, way more accurate than measuring with something like this, which is a beaker, or this, which is an Erlenmeyer flask. Yeah, this is the way to go. This is a crucible and a lid used for heating things to a very high temperature. Sometimes they're porcelain, sometimes they're metal. This is called a ring stand. And not included here is the ring. So it has like a little metal clamp, and then sometimes I call it an O-ring. And then you would place your beaker on the wire gauze over there, over the flame. This is called a clay triangle. The shape is a triangle. And this inner triangle is clay or porcelain, which allows you to heat it to a much higher temperature. These edges are metal, so those will get hot. This is called a volumetric flask. And we don't use these a ton in the high school lab, but you will see them in college labs. These are tongs again, but these are test tube tongs. And you grab them here, squeeze, and these open out, and then you just clamp along the test tube itself. This is really hard to tell what it is, but I believe this is a watch glass. So the watch glass, it kind of looks like an elephant contact. Two different things you can do with it. One, you can have a teeny tiny amount of solution and you would let that evaporate away. So it's kind of like an evaporating dish, but just for maybe a few drops, a very small sample. Or you can extinguish a flame, a very small flame. So let's say we have a beaker and there's something on fire. You slide the watch glass over the top, cutting off the oxygen supply, and the flame will go out. There's a lot more that the sheet did not address in terms of lab equipment. As the year goes on, we'll address that, we'll get familiar with it, and there's also another worksheet that's a little bit more comprehensive. But this is a good start. Okay, thanks.